I'm John. I grew up in Folkestone, Georgia.
I'm Tammy Eunices, and I was born and raised in Valdosta, and we got married in 1983.
James is our youngest of three. James has an older brother, John, who's lives in Washington, D.C., an older sister, Lindsay, who's married and lives in Charlotte, and he was born at full speed. And as he grew, particularly as a teenager, starting about 13, you could see a calling on his life for Christ.
He started 10th grade at Valdosta. He felt that more than anything, that he was there at that school to be a missionary. He would go and he would walk into the lunchroom at Valdosta High School and pan the lunchroom to see who was sitting alone. And he would go and sit with them, or he would invite them to sit at his table. He looked for broken people, and he invested in the people that were hurting and the people that needed a word of encouragement.
He said, when it's my time to go, I want to go out making the biggest impact. I don't want to just fizzle out. I want to go out making the biggest impact I can. We visited back and forth between two different churches. And I think one Sunday afternoon, we went to lunch somewhere and came home, and James basically said, I don't know where you want to go to church, but I feel like I'm supposed to be at CrossPointe. And that pretty much sealed the decision for us because we didn't have to. It was never a struggle for James to get James to go to church. He went to student life with the youth group, came back on fire. Evening of January 14th, that Friday night, James came home from school, and all his friends had things to do. He was stuck at home with us, so we had a great evening with him. Saturday morning, the 15th, I got up and let the dog out, but he came in a little bit later to get some money to go to buy shotgun shells and go hunting with Drew Pipkin. And so I had gone to the gym that morning. Tammy had taken her mom across town to go shopping, and a little before noon, we got the phone call that changed our lives.
I answered the phone, and Kim, told me who she was, and then she said, very somberly, she said, you need to come to Ocean Pond. James is missing. So we began, as John refers to it, as a 17-day odyssey. But in that 17 days, I have never seen the presence of God as strongly on any place as I did during those 17 days that James was missing. As team after team came, as CrossPointe showed up. I mean, Pastor David and Linnell were in Kentucky, northern Kentucky, had just gotten there when they got the news that James was missing, and they turned around and came back. I'll never forget that. And there was someone representing CrossPointe over that 17 days, praying and doing worship, nights of worship at church. Those prayer services that were Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after James went missing were full. And we learned later as we went through James's page, many, even in South Georgia, they were in church for the first time in their lives, drawn to that church because of a young man who they knew, he knew who Jesus was.
We say we don't move on with this story. We would say we move forward, and we continue to share it, and we talk. We say if we share a story, we want to remember and honor James's legacy, but most importantly, we want to honor God with the story and how we share it.
And it's a story that we wish we didn't have to share. We're selfish that way, but God has given us great purpose through great loss, a loss that we would have never imagined would have been part of our story.
High school counselor, middle school counselor really, from the alternative school in Valdosta City Schools came up to us and talked to us, and he said, I want to share with you. He said, the day James was found, he said, I went to they called me up to go to the freshman academy at Valdosta High School, and he said, as the young people lined up and student after student after student came in and shared with me what James had done in their lives, how he had texted them a word of encouragement, how he shared a Bible verse with them, how he prayed with them. He said, I left at the end of the day saying, how did I not know this kid? And we say, as we share the story of an ordinary teenager who God has done extraordinary things through because of a life well lived, because of a life sold out to Christ. And that's all, a lot of that comes from being a part of that faith family that was where he was at CrossPointe.
I don't know how people process a loss as priceless as ours if you don't have a faith family, if you don't have the Lord to give you the strength to get through it, because you're not strong enough, and you're going to lean on something. I'm thankful that we made a decision to lean on the Lord and on His people